Hey guys, it's Dr. Sam Robbins. Today I'm going to talk about one of the sexiest vitamins in the world. And I say sexy because it helps boost your testosterone levels. And this is for both men and women, so it's not just for guys. It also helps increase your desire for sexual activity, both physically and also emotionally. Sometimes, we get older, we're busy with life. We don't have that same desire that we used to. It also helps increase your energy levels. Now, this is important because one of the biggest complaints people have, lack of sex, is because they don't have energy. You run in your day all the time, busy with all life, and by the end of the day, you're too pooped to do the deed. Now, it also helps regulate excess estrogen levels, which is good for men and even women because it helps balance out the testosterone estrogen levels. So you have, for guys, better erections. So that's super important. Also because as men get older and if your body fat goes higher, your estrogen levels tend to increase and that lowers testosterone, which again, not good. This sexy vitamin also helps improve your blood flow and circulation, which is good for your heart, for your brain, and also your erections. Additionally, for women, again, didn't forget about you, it helps with lubrication, so that's always good. Especially as women get older, they tend to be more dry, again, imbalance in hormone levels, so lubrication is also good. Lack of pain and all that stuff. And obviously, as a huge added bonus, I'd like to tell everyone this vitamin helps boost your immune system. Your immune system is vital, obviously, as we know. Now, one big problem is, unfortunately, most people, I would say almost 90% of both men and women are deficient or have very low or suboptimal levels of this vitamin. This includes even myself, and this is over 10 years ago, and I'm always taking fistful of vitamins. So the question is, what is this sexy vitamin? Can you guess? All right, here you go. It's vitamin D. That's right, vitamin D. Now, if you've been following me, my channel, my blogs and all that stuff, you probably heard me talk about one of the sexiest minerals ever, and that's been zinc. But I consider vitamin D even sexier than zinc because, again, one big reason is that it's super powerful because it's not even technically a vitamin. If you've been watching me, vitamin D is actually a hormone. More specifically, same molecular structure as a steroid hormone, such as your testosterone and estrogen levels. That's why vitamin D is so powerful. And again, as I said earlier, most people are unfortunately deficient or just have low or suboptimal levels, especially as we get older. Now, earlier I mentioned how I had suboptimal levels of vitamin D. And again, I did, back then, probably 10, 15 years ago, we didn't really test vitamin D like they do now or they should now. And it said very low levels. And I thought, how can I have low levels? Because I was taking a multivitamin. The problem is multivitamins or they just have they have the basic bare minimum vitamin D levels just to get by, like 100%. But we don't need to get by. We need to optimal levels. And so that's, when I discovered that the problem is also that you don't get vitamin D from the foods you eat. It's primarily from sun exposure. Basically, the sun hits your skin and the oils in your skin and so forth tell your body to convert that ultraviolet light to vitamin D. Now, I was, again, shocked that I had such low levels because I was outdoors all the time. I'm living in the West Coast and the sun's always out, but I didn't. I had suboptimal levels. And, just imagine if you are living where it's not sunny all the time, how low are your levels? And the other thing is that as we get older, vitamin D levels drop because, well, your hormones, your body doesn't assimilate it as well. Also, if you have really darker skin, such as, for example, African Americans, Black Hindus, you actually need a lot more sun exposure in order to produce vitamin D. If you have higher body fat levels, you actually need more vitamin D. As we get older, as I stated, it doesn't work. So you basically need, unfortunately, to supplement your diet with vitamin D because you're just not going to get it in food, and certainly not, most of us are not going to get in the sun, especially since we're indoors all the time. Like me, I'm always doing everything indoors, and if I do go outdoors, I'm covered up or I'm wearing a hat and all that kind of stuff. So how do you even know if you have low levels of vitamin D? The best way, and I've made, a lot of things, again, all the things that I mentioned vitamin D does with your sex drive and energy levels and all that, mood and immunity, those are all, symptoms if you have low levels of vitamin D, if you don't have these, have these problems. But ultimately, you do a blood test. You do a vitamin D test, and they'll tell you, and most people, again, are low. And some doctors will say get it, a little bit over 30. I think levels between, 30 to maybe 50, and that's nanograms per milliliter. But all the research I've done for optimal levels, I like it above 50, and personally, I like mine above 70. And that's because, again, it has so many benefits, and there's no toxicity. And, people don't realize that your body, especially in the summer and all that, can utilize like hundreds of thousands of, units and milligrams to convert that vitamin D. So most of us are just not getting, even when we take vitamin D levels, to supplement it, you don't have to worry about the toxicity. But again, ultimately, you take the vitamin D, your levels should be, when you do the blood test, at least I say 50. I prefer mine to be around 70 or 90, but that's not all. The one issue about taking vitamin D by itself, unfortunately, if you take high levels of vitamin D, it creates calcium deposits more in your arteries and veins, and we don't want that. And I remember a friend of mine, he was just taking boatloads of vitamin D, and he says, God, my wrist is getting tighter, and like little bone spurs are happening. He went to the doctor, and the doctor's like, oh yeah, you got to take vitamin D with K. And I told him a long time ago, yeah, aren't you taking vitamin D with K? He's like, no, I didn't know. So you take vitamin D3, that's the correct form, and you take it with K2, again, another fat-soluble vitamin. And basically the goal is, as some research shown, that you take the vitamin K, will take the calcium from the higher levels of vitamin D, take it out of the arteries and veins and all that stuff, and put it into the bone where we want. Again, one of the other benefits with having optimal levels of vitamin D is better calcium and stronger bones and so forth. So again, you need to take vitamin D3 with K2. As far as the dose, I suggest people to take around 5,000 units, or that's 125 micrograms of vitamin D3, and you take that. Now, I take that during the summer, and during the winter months, I take 10,000 units, or basically 250 micrograms of vitamin D, and I take it with the vitamin K2. And if I'm getting sick, I double and triple the dose. Literally, it's like 2-3 days later, my immune system, it perks up, and whatever cold or tickle or whatever I had literally goes away. And then it always shortens the clue. And if I had a flu, or if I had cold, if I had a cold, it really, really is improved. That's why I never get sick, including a few years ago when there's that whole pandemic thing. I didn't get sick because I was just always boatloading all these vitamins that boost my immune system. Another issue is, again, we talked about the dose, and when you take vitamin D, most of the time they come like gel caps, right? And that's unfortunately made from the oil of sheep, the skin of hair of sheep, and for some people it's not good. So I realized that the best form is a microencapsulated vegan kind. It comes in a powder, and it's increases absorbability by twice as much. It's vegan. We don't have any of it. It does cost a little bit more, but it's better absorbed and utilized by the body than typically those gel ones. Like you'll see the vitamin E, most of them come in the gel forms. That's the cheaper form of vitamin D. I ended up, because I had to take all these different vitamins, I basically take a product called Perfect Vitamin D and K. It's got all the plant-based vitamin D3, microencapsulated. It's vegan and comes with the K2. And the best part is you only need to take 1 pill a day, and this bottle literally will last you 3 months. Okay, so that comes out to not even 25 cents a day, a quarter a day. It's really inexpensive. It has so many benefits. Again, this topic was about just the sexiest vitamins, but it's really not just for sex. It's better health, cognition, better blood flow, better mood, all these things. Again, for me, it's also a big improvement for your immune system. I put a link to Perfect Vitamin D3 and K2 below. It comes with a coupon. Give it a try. Again, it's only 25 cents a day. You can't go wrong. One other thing, take it 1 pill a day, maybe if you want to take 2, but take it with a meal, preferably during the day, like breakfast or lunch. I noticed that because it does give energy, if I take it more at night, it makes sleeping a little bit more difficult. Anyway, hope this was helpful. Take a look underneath in the description area for all the important links. Wishing you a happy and healthy day.